on the internet, PVA sells for 100 a kilo, would you believe? But there's many PVA substitutes. So if you go to get glycerin, which is about $10 a litre, which is like a tenth of the price, if you add citric acid, you will get a PVA substitute if you esterify it, which is just boiling it together with a lack of water. And then when you get down to the thick, when it goes thick enough, what you do is you put water on the top, and then it disperses into the water, ready for use as a glue. But there's many different glycols to make. All you need is basically an ester, is an alcohol and an acid. And any an alcohol and acid could make a PVA. Yeah, and you just gotta, so as soon as the esterification is done, add the water and see if the solute leaks into the water. Another thing you can do is you can put it with a heavy metal like copper sulfate, and then that's going to change the properties. You should find, I think, that the metal will go into the polymer as it esterifies. And so if you add sodium, it'll be extremely water soluble, probably too water soluble. And so what do you do once you've got the PVA? It's not exactly the same as PVA because it's not as solid. PVA is actually a plastic. What this PVA substitute is, it's more of a slime than a plastic, but it's a heavy dense slime instead. So what you do is you need to add a solid to it that dissolves in the plasticizer. So if you add starch or you melt cheese into it, then or you liquefied cheese into it, or you use porridge chicken, which is like seitan. If you put one of those three solids in with it, or you could simply yeah, but there's probably a way you can just add more rock to it. If you just added more metal to it, it would solidify as well. But that's a little trickier because you have to add the metal. You could just add more after you've esterified, add the water, then just add more copper sulfate to it. Yeah, that could probably work. And then once you've got it in solution, you use oxalic acid or citric acid to react it insoluble, but you have to get it solid first. But I don't know if that works because maybe the water stops it from working. But it could work. Maybe you have to wait until it's thick enough, and then you use the oxalic acid. Yeah, once it goes to about double thick oil, then you add the acid to it to make it insoluble. And then you can just add more metal powder to it, like a rock powder, and then use that as a solid. But it won't be polymerized into it, it's more of an aggregate. But once you've got it to a thick slime, you haven't got a plastic, but if you add aggregate to that, it'll also be a solid. And it sort of makes a tacky thing rather than a plastic. That's how you make a cheap PVA substitute instead of paying like, the 100 a kilo that they charge for fucking PVA powder.